Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. The world needs to hear your message and your story, so don't deny the world of that gift within you that the universe has given you. Someone out there needs to hear your story because it will support them in feeling hope, inspired, and even transformed. Do you want to discover how I help get my clients out of their own way, show up, and confidently share their message? I would love to extend an invitation to you to join me in my free masterclass, Start Your Own Podcast from Idea to Implementation, on Wednesday, April 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can find the registry link in the show notes. Hope to see you there. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Dina Marais. She is the founder and owner of Soul Purpose Publishing and Coaching, a 5-time international best-selling author, a soul-aligned manifesting coach, a quantum human design coach, and an artist. Dina, we have been trying for quite a while now to get this interview done. I am so grateful and happy to have you here. How are you doing today?
Oh, Brad, this has been such a wonderful opportunity for me to spend some time with you. I've been wanting to do that for so long. So I'm doing great, and I'm very excited to spend the next while with you.
Excellent. Well, I am very excited to have you here with me and share all about the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you're doing and a little bit about your story and your journey. So with that being said, let's get started. Now, that is a hell of a lot of hats and quite a resume you have. How do you find the time for all of this, and how do you prioritize, and how important is prioritization and organization for you?
I always have a plan sort of in my head of where I'm going. And basically all these hats fall into two categories. And the one is publishing and the other one is coaching. And so, the artist piece it's a hobby for me. I paint a little bit, and I, of course, write. Since I started writing years ago, it's taken over the painting. But a prioritization is really what shows up what needs to be done. I always find the time to put in to handle everything, and I make sure that I don't overwhelm myself. I don't overcommit myself.
Overextend yourself, yeah.
Overextend myself, yeah. Well, I take good care of that, but not always successful, as we know. Sometimes things can get a little bit crazy.
Well, life happens, right? So it's not, you got to roll with, but you have to be flexible. You have to be in flow to roll with what comes through at times.
At times, yes. And also because of my human design, I never knew this, but I am actually naturally working on more than one thing. I've always done that. I've always had several projects going on at the same time. So, it's nothing new. It's just, I take it in my stride.
There you go. And that's all we can do. So I'd love to know then, with you wearing so many hats, what does your morning routine look like? Do you have a morning routine?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah. I meditate. I also do some yoga. And if the weather is lovely, there's no wind, I will go for a walk on the beach. I spend about 2 hours with myself, thinking about the day, tuning in to my divine muse, and do some declarations, read my manifesto. So all things for me to tune inward and prepare myself for the day, to be at a high vibration.
For what's to come.
Yes.
There you go. I love it. What drives, motivates, and inspires you to keep going and excelling at all that you do, Dina?
My purpose is really to support people to own their greatness and to bring them home to themselves. Because that's our human journey, isn't it? Is to find our way home. And I do that through the publishing of the books and through the coaching to inspire people, because we all have our greatness inside us. And it's so important to find that. How's that saying? Don't die with your music still in you. And I believe it's the work that I'm here to do. That's why I'm here.
They also say that the cemetery is the richest place in the world because so many people do die with their gifts inside them that never get expressed. And I think that's horribly sad, because you think about all the people who go through life staying stuck in jobs that they hate, doing a job they can't stand, they hate getting up in the morning, living for those 2 days, the weekend, and throwing away that whole week because they're so focused on the energy of not wanting to be at their jobs. I think that's horribly sad. And I really wish that everybody could find their purpose and live in and on purpose.
Yes, and most people are just so afraid, isn't it? They don't believe that they will be supported. They don't believe they have such a distrust and have so been conditioned to think that they're not worthy, they're not good enough. No, who's going to listen to them? Who's going to buy their stuff? And that's how we grew up, eh? So many of us grow up with that belief that so many kids go to their parents and say, oh, I'm going to do this. And they say, why are you going to do that? What do you know about that? Why hasn't anybody else done that yet? Kind of thing. And just kill the dreams just there.
Absolutely. It's horribly sad. Can you share with us, Dina, what you were doing for a living before you made the jump into entrepreneurship and what the catalyst was for that shift for you?
I was in IT. I had a lovely career in IT, and that was even very interesting how that came about. I lived in a small town when I finished school, and everybody went to university. Everybody left. And I thought, my goodness gracious, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to leave too. But I had no idea what to study. So I went there, my parents took me there and they dropped me off, and I went to do some tests, and the test came out and said, really, there must be a lawyer. And then the counselor came and said, you know what? Women lawyers in this country don't make it. It's such a male-dominant profession. And they're at 17 years old. What do I do now? So in the end, I did the most stupid thing. I went to study for a physical education teacher. Now, if you look at me, I'm the farthest away from a physical ed teacher that you can find. So I can't stand cold water. So when we started to continue swimming in April here, when it's really in the fall and it's really 10 degrees in the morning, 7 o'clock, I think, no, I'm out of here. This is not for me. And at that time, I got introduced to the idea of IT, of programming. And I thought, wow, this sounds interesting. I went for the test, the aptitude test, and I passed with flying colors. And that was the start of my IT career. And I spent, I think, more than 20 years in IT. And then, of course, I was very good at it, but it's never been my passion. I knew there was something else. And at that point, also, it's actually interesting, Brad. When we are 40, around 40, we have a Saturn return, and that actually creates the circumstances for us to start pursuing our soul purpose. And in that time, actually, we went through, my husband and I, our family, we went through a hell of a financial loss, and we were looking for answers. And so we both went to this counselor who was an NLP practitioner, also a psychologist. And that's how I got introduced. I never even knew it existed to NLP. And of course, I fell in love with it immediately. And the rest is history, as they say. So that's how as I shifted into being, and of course, that was hugely difficult because life is very different as an entrepreneur from being a consultant and having regular income. And now you have to sell yourself as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. It's a tough journey as an entrepreneur.
It is. I think it's the hardest thing in the world.
Sorry, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say that was the catalyst, my own searching and our own circumstances. And of course, beautifully orchestrated by the universe.
The universe is a beautiful gift. Absolutely. Always has our back. Always.
Always. Always. Even though it doesn't look like it, it does.
It does. Absolutely. I want to jump in and speak about the coaching journey now. I've heard a lot of people say that I've spoken to that all coaches have been through their own personal struggles and journeys before making the leap into coaching. And of course, as human beings, we've all been through our struggles. We've all had our fair share of shit we've had to deal with and shit we go through. But what I've found through the women I've spoken to that are coaches, their personal struggles were the catalyst for them leaping into the coaching world and becoming a coach. Can you share a little bit about your journey into the coaching world?
Absolutely. So as I was saying earlier, when we got introduced to NLP, is really grew up with this notion of that I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving. I am not supposed to excel in life. I'm incapable, that kind of messages. And when I started studying NLP, I discovered a whole new world. I discovered these beliefs that I had. I didn't know I had the beliefs. It was just what was reflected in my outer world. And when I discovered these beliefs and that I could start to change them, that was just a whole new beautiful world out to me, that we are not doomed in our we are not doomed to stay stuck in our circumstances. We all have the choice to get out of that. And I believe that every coach, and including me, the things that we are journeying with in this life is what we are also coaching other people on. Definitely. It's my own journey of self-love and self-worth, and growing up in the way that I grew up with huge scarcity and lack and that kind of survival instinct kind of thing. That actually also, that trauma as a child, and most of us experience trauma to some or other extent as a child. That makes us that we want to control everything. We want to control everything. And that is one of the biggest things, actually the biggest thing for us to transcend in this life, is that control, that fear of I'm not supported, I'm going to be abandoned, I don't trust. And that is what I teach. And that is what my own journey is all about as well.
How have these experiences, Dina, helped shape who you are today, both personally and professionally?
Well, going through this as a lifelong journey and grappling with it, really it's a battle between our higher self and our ego. And to every time thinking, I'm there, I've done it. And then something happens and no, it's another round of this. I haven't quite gotten it yet. It shapes us. It grows us inside. Our vibration, we change literally who we are. We change our DNA through the process. And of course, as we have completed the change, we cannot remember how we were. So I don't remember how I was, but I just know I'm a totally different person than I was 20 years ago when I started my coaching. So it shapes us. It has definitely changed me into a much more relaxed kind of person, able to really let go. And I've recently learned not too long ago, learned about the patience part. Not to just jump into action when I get the inspiration, but to just pause a little bit. So it's actually extraordinary for me how we have been designed, how we are equipped, how we are guided into really experiencing the things that we are here to experience, for us to actually grow spiritually, to grow more towards our true self and become who we really are. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah. And that's a constant process because we're human beings. We're always growing as humans. We're always evolving and expanding. So we have to learn that this is going to be constant. Change is constant. And we have to be okay with that. And of course, we as humans are quite resistant to change. We don't like change because we get comfortable in those spaces we're in and get stuck there. But we have to be willing to accept that and flow with that because it's going to happen. We are changing.
Yeah.
And
we're going to be disrupted. Change is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Change is very good.
For sure.
Of course, you think that I used to think that as well, that once I thought that I transcended and changed the limiting belief of not good enough and whatever, I thought, okay, now I'm made kind of thing. Life should just now be a smooth ride. I mean, no more disruption. It doesn't work that way.
No, nothing could be further from the truth. There's always going to be struggles. I think that when we go through the things we go through and we transcend and we learn and we grow, I think in that process, we learn to also be able to handle or accept that it doesn't stop here. It's going to continue. And we learn in the process to be able to move through it a little bit more gracefully, a little bit quicker than initially because we've been through it. And just because you've been through it, it absolutely does not mean it's not going to come up again. The imposter syndrome, the competition minds, all of these things, you move through it that initial time, it's still going to come up again. But you've also been through it once before. So you've learned a little bit on how to adapt and move through it a little bit better, a little bit differently, a little bit quicker, which is important.
Yeah. I agree with that. Every new level that we move into, that we want to, in our business as well, we want to take it now to the next level of income, different clients, etc. And that imposter syndrome comes round again. The self-worth issues comes round again. The self-love issues come round again. And we get to that point where we are better equipped. We know it's happening and we know why it's happening and we know how to work with it, how to work with ourselves so that we can step out of that comfort zone of familiarity. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. What would you say was the biggest or most valuable takeaway for you through your experiences when you look back?
That I'm loved and that I'm supported and that I'm here for a very specific reason. I'm not here by accident, that the journey that I am on is what I chose before I came into this life. So that gives me really a reassurance that it's all okay. Everything that happens is fine. I'm supported. I'm supposed to go through that.
Yeah.
It took me a very long time to get to that place. I think some people...
And there comes the patience piece of it too.
Yes, absolutely. That peace as well.
Yes. Inner peace, all of it. Yeah. What lights you up or inspires you the most about the work you do as a coach, Dina?
To inspire people to reach their potential. I'm very good at seeing the potential of someone in what they do and what they can do. And I'm very good at inspiring them to embrace that, to see how wonderful they are. I'm also very intuitive in identifying those pieces where they are tripping themselves up, the pattern that they have, and to overcome that. So that gives me great joy, to get someone to be inspired by themselves, to be inspired by what they can do, and for them to want that and to want to do the work and to want to go there. And that is absolutely, it makes my day. It makes my day.
Now, on the flip side of that coin, what would you say is one of the most challenging pieces of the work you do as a coach?
When they don't want to, when they just can't see it, where they have the yes, but, where they actually, that familiarity of being stuck in that place where they are, is that first of all, they don't take responsibility and they want you to fix it for them. They don't want to do the work. So for those people, can't do anything actually, because I mean, even though we inspire people and we can take them there, they have to take responsibility for their own outcome.
For sure, they have to do their part.
They have to do their part, yes.
Yeah, you can't do the work for them. All you can do is provide the tools.
And that's it. That is the two sides of it. The joy of working with people who want to do it, and then the other side of maybe they're not ready, maybe they like where they are.
What are 3 of the most important lessons you've learned in your journey or career as a coach?
That every one of us is equipped, has the resources to do whatever we want, to achieve whatever we want in life. We all have it inside us. And as you just said, people are responsible for their own journey. They are responsible to do their own work, to do the work so that they can get where they want to be. And that self-love and self-worth is the foundation of everything. Without those, life is really hell. Because you are in a place where you can't get to where you want to be.
As you said previously, it all comes back. We have to come back to home, and home is here within ourselves. It all starts here. We are the foundation for everything.
Yes, we are. And you know, there is absolutely nothing external to us that creates our lives. We create everything. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a hard reality. It's a hard thing to actually accept that. But in that, it's also liberation, isn't it? If I've created this shit around me, gosh, what else can I create kind of thing?
Exactly. It's the possibilities are infinite of what we can do.
But it starts with
our potential is infinite. Yeah, 100%. What is it that sets you and the work you do as a coach apart from other coaches? Why would people choose to work with you? Why would someone choose to work with you? What do you bring to the table?
For me, what's important, I really don't believe in competition. I believe that we are all here to contribute to make the world a beautiful place. I believe that coach-client matching is more of an energetic alignment. is more besides the work that you can promise, that you can support someone with. I believe we have sort of these soul contract with each other, and we somehow find each other, and there's an immediate connection. And through our own vibration that we attract the people that we work with. So for me, that's different. I think, I'm not sure that it's different, but I do have more than 20 years experience in coaching. I do have huge knowledge in business. I do have very precise, beautiful skills in transformation. So in that way, I think I'm a valuable resource for anyone who work with me. I'm also very inspiring, and I'm also very good at calling the bullshit. And
that's important.
Come from a very loving place. I think it's just who I am. Besides all the things that I can do, the presence of who I really am, the essence of that is that I love to support people to manifest their dreams. And I know all the skills and all the steps and all the things that you need to do, and to get the things out of the way that stands in your way.
What personal experiences or transformations led you to discover your own soul alignment, and how has it impacted your life and your work?
In all my life, I've really pushed against the universe without knowing it, and follow my own head, trying to control everything around me. The people, make sure everyone is happy, not really valuing myself. And then I started to really manifesting, and soul alignment or alignment has always fascinated me. And then I started learning more about that and studying people like Neville Goddard. I love his work, and really got into that whole notion of my true self state of who am I as the person who has it all. Because everything that we want in life is how it will make us feel. So we can feel good now. We don't have to wait for that something to come. But it's, of course, it's in that vibration of accepting ourselves, of loving ourselves. That for me is soul alignment. Because when you are in that vibration and you stay in that vibration and you can ignore the current reality, in other words, you choose your soul versus you choose your ego in every given moment. That's when we experience bliss. That's when our heart opens. That's when the universe opens and shower us with opportunities. So just by being in that state of love for yourself, full acceptance, the gratitude of who you are, the skills that you have, just that is a start. And you're already aligned with your soul. And if you can stay there and have a vision and assume that you have that and be there as if you have it, then it must manifest. It must. It's the law. So that is soul alignment for me, is when I know and I can feel in my body that I want to create something that feels good.
Manifestation requires both internal alignment and external action, of course. We can't just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to manifest this and then wait for it to come, wait for it to drop in our laps. So we have to take action to make things happen, to move that process. So how do you guide the individuals you work with in finding the balance between inner alignment and practical steps towards manifestation?
Alignment comes first, of course, inner alignment, of having the clear vision of the end result. What will the end result look like when you have it? And how would you feel? And again, that is a vibrational reality. Everything we want already exists. So we basically tune into the vibration of that, of being that, of doing that, of having that. And when we do that and we let it develop in our imagination, we play with it. We let it just percolate a little bit and create the thoughts for us and more feelings and more ideas. Then that starts to actually radiate from you and it attracts to you. And of course, once it attracts to you, the synchronicities that happen, the things that you need to respond to, that you need to take action on, it happens automatically. The problem is with us, and that has been my problem all my life, is that I get that idea and then I thought, we've been conditioned, just take action, that I must make it happen. It's not our job to make it happen. The brain is not there to figure things out, to make it happen. We just have to occupy the vibration, the reality of it already happened, and we will be guided on what actions to take.
I love that. Now, of course, mindset is obviously a huge part of tapping into the ability to manifest things in our lives. I mean, mindset plays such an important piece in all of it. But how can individuals shift their mindset from scarcity to abundance and align with the flow of the universal abundance in their lives?
I love that saying that says abundance is not something that you get. Abundance is something you tune into. And we do that by noticing the abundance around us. There are behaviors that perpetuate scarcity and repels abundance. And those are the behaviors of criticizing, complaining, condemning, seeing someone as what you want and now you condemn them and say, oh, look at that person. You can't attract to you what you condemn in another. Judging others. All of those are repelling abundance from you. You cannot also stand with your one foot in the morning. I always use the example, meditate in the morning, see all the abundance and feel fabulous. And the moment you walk out your room, you see the coffee is finished and you think, oh my goodness, I can't even buy coffee. Or you shout at a kid when you walk out the bathroom. So you've got to discipline. It's all about practice and it's about discipline. It's about choosing, training your brain to see abundance, to tune in and to see what is working, even the smallest thing. And of course, the big one is gratitude. Just to be grateful, just grateful for water in your tap, for having a bed to sleep on, for waking up in the morning and say, thank you. Thank you. I have a bed.
I've got another day and I've got another day.
And every day is a reset, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
it's another opportunity.
It's another opportunity. And I think also the morning routine to really set the intention for yourself. Today, I'm going to be focused on what is working. I'm going to be present and I'm going to really notice the abundance around me and celebrate anyone else who has abundance. And in the evening, when you go to bed, before you go to bed, is again tune into the gratitude of, and alignment work is rehearse your day. And wherever you have fallen into, let your vibration drop, rehearse those little scenes and change it for yourself so that you can really set your mind. It's part of the discipline and the practice.
Self-awareness.
Of course, nothing can change without self-awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. We've spoken about self-love. That also is foundational to manifestation. How do you support individuals in cultivating self-love and worthiness, ensuring that their manifestations are aligned with their highest good?
I use some practices, neurosemantic practices of liberating the past. And it's like a step-by-step process of, first of all, owning your vibration and really accepting yourself. And do some practices. There's mirror work. There is all kinds of practices to get to that place where you start believing in self-love. You start to appreciate. And of course, I use human design as well as a method or a tool to show people the wonder of who they are, really, what they are here to do, and to create a vision that they can fall in love with, of what they can create in the world, and really their belief that they are unconditionally valuable. So yes, changing beliefs, but again, it's a practice. It's giving them the tools that they have to practice to actually lead that. I always say that once we make like a shift like that, it's done. But we've got to nurture that and see that in the brain, the new little neuropaths are like little sprouts. And as we nurture them, they grow bigger and stronger. Because the old paradigm of the scarcity and the self-loathing and self-contempt are like highways in your brain. It's your default thinking. You have to practice to change it. But it's doable. I mean, I've done it.
It takes work. Yeah.
It takes work.
It takes work, for sure. I want to speak now about your journey into the world of becoming a publisher and founding Soul Purpose Publishing. What inspired you to establish your own publishing house, and how has your vision for that evolved since you first began your journey as a publisher?
That is such a wonderful story. Many years ago, I read the book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and it made such an impact on me. And I thought to myself at that stage, I think I made a wish to the universe, and I said, I want to write stories like this. to inspire the world. And of course, never did it. But then out of the blue, I received this idea of starting my own publishing company. Brad, I had a physical reaction in my body. It was like, yes, this is me. I just knew this was me. And I couldn't do it at first. And it had to come by me 3 times before I realized my soul is serious about this. I've got to do this now. And so I did, and it was a totally unknown industry and field. I've never even thought about this. But what an adventure. And 4 months later, I published my first international bestseller, a multi-author book. And since then, I've published 2 more. I'm busy with my 4th book. And it is...
Congratulations.
Thank you. It is one of the most rewarding things that I'm doing, is to give people a voice. They can really broadcast their message to the world, their inspiring messages. And it helps them to just get that dip their toe in the water, just go through this process and write a chapter in a book and just think, oh, okay, now I'm inspired. Now I can write my big book, that kind of thing.
It's a beautiful gift to be able to give that to someone, the opportunity, the space.
Yeah, no, it is really. And writing your chapter or your book, it is such a transformational journey. People dig so deep and they get a total different perspective on what happened. It's really transformational. With my first book, My Message, one of the authors said, you know what? I probably saved about $1,000 in therapy just by writing my story. Yeah.
It is therapeutic, 100%. It's incredible. It's a wonderful gift. The publishing industry, of course, faces various challenges with the ever-changing landscape of media and how people consume media. Can you share some strategies you've employed to overcome obstacles and stay resilient?
I think the biggest strategy that I have employed is not working with AI. And I'm not working with anybody who is working with AI. I think it's the most devastating thing that happened to humanity. So that is what my books are inspirational. They are authentic. They are true life. There's nothing artificial about them. And I would like it to stay that way. And I believe people are searching for authenticity. They are looking for someone who is just authentic in what they do.
Absolutely agree. What role do you see your publishing house playing in shaping the literary landscape for generations to come?
Well, that's a big one, Brad. I think besides, what I just said about the AI business and really authentic inspiration. I think that is what my publishing company is about. That is the kind of books that I would like to publish, working with solo authors as well. I look at what it is they want to publish. Do I want to put my name on it? Do I want to put my company's name on it? So that's really important to me, is to, when somebody sees a book by Sole Purpose Publishing, that they can trust, they can pick up this book. It will be nice. They would enjoy the read. It would be a great book to read. Yeah. And of course, I love pushing the edges. I love creating new ideas. So for example, my 4th book now is not a book with 25 or 30 stories or chapters in. It's a book with 111 stories in.
Wow, that's a big project.
It's a big project, but it's shorter chapters. So I like to do new things and to see what else is out there to create in terms of publishing.
What are the core values and mission of Sole Purpose Publishing, Dina?
The mission is to inspire the writer and the reader to experience transformation and to own their greatness, to inspire them to their greatness. And for me, the values are really integrity, to stay on my mission and to stay authentic in myself, and love, creativity. I think that's really creativity, love, and authenticity.
Now, as mentioned, you yourself are a 5-time international best-selling author. Has writing always been a part of who you are, or has the writing path been fairly new for you when you first dove into the world of books and publishing? I've
always been writing. Since I became a coach, I created my first book in 2009. It was a life coaching diary that I had the idea for. It really was not successful at that point. But since I've written over 100 or so blogs. I've always been writing. And I love what a mentor said. He said, the moment you get into coaching, you actually become a publisher in terms of putting yourself out there. Whatever you are writing, you're putting yourself out there. So yes, writing has always
Yeah.
been part of me. I find it easy to write. And so when the publishing came around and the writing of that, it was nothing major for me.
It's just a natural progression.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for young authors and entrepreneurs seeking to make a mark in their respective fields? What advice would you give?
I think the first thing, especially if you want to write, and I'm speaking really specifically here about nonfiction books, you really want to make sure that you are an expert in your field, that whatever you write about comes from your heart, comes from your knowledge. And of course, besides the book itself, I believe every entrepreneur should have a book because it is a luxury business card. It paves our reputation in front of us. It gives you lots of opportunities to really expand your visibility or credibility. And then make sure that you also leverage the book in terms of creating an online program for it and to learn how to play them off against each other, the book and the program. Because in using that method, that leverage, you can really create a very successful book and audience and an online coaching business.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
Never giving up. Just, it doesn't even cross my mind. I would never quit.
Beautiful. Speaking of success, how do you define that word? What does the word success mean to you?
Success for me means to have reached not just yourself in terms of what you have created, that you feel that value inside of you and that you have served someone else with it. So success is not something that you do alone. Success is shared. It is share your expertise with other people for them to actually do like what you have said so much that they are reading it, that they are buying your stuff. And that for me is a great measurement in itself for our own cultivating of excellence. Is not to use that to judge ourselves by people not buying or whatever, but it's just feedback. How can we do this better? Where have we just maybe missed the message? And when we can see it in that way, not make it about ourselves and take it personally and the universe has got something against me and it's because of this and that I can't be successful. If we can move that outside of us and just look at the thing in front of us and say, okay, fine. So what do you need? And it's also not to jump from 0 to hero. Increments, 1% better. And to track that and measure that is absolutely important.
What would you say, Dina, is one of your biggest failures or life lessons or teachable moments? And what did you learn from that?
Oh, I've had many of those. But I think that life coaching diary was the first one. And the next big one was I had this idea to create a self-coaching system. And of course, coming from IT is I had the idea and I could see the system. I used to design systems. So I could see every program, everything, and it was just beautiful. And I literally spent thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands to design this platform, to design this program. And it didn't work. And you know why? I didn't do any research on platforms. I just thought there was none. And I didn't have a target market. I didn't even know what that was. So after years of trying to make this thing successful, I decided to close it. And so a big lesson is do your research. Look at what's out there. If it's already there, see how you can use it. If you can't, see how you can make it better for yourself. But don't just jump in. You got to check it out.
Wise words. Hey, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section here. So the next grouping of questions will just be 2, 3, 4-word answer type thing.
Okay.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would that one thing be?
Inspiring people.
How would you describe yourself in one word? Authentic. What is one of your favorite entrepreneurial books?
Think and Grow Rich.
I love that book. That book is incredible.
It's an amazing book.
It is. It truly is. And the fact that it was written so long ago and all of those principles and rules still apply today is just, I love that book.
Yeah.
What is one thing you love about yourself, Dina, that is not related to your physical appearance?
I just love my character. I just love who I am. I just love everything about myself.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Love yourself.
What is your favorite self-care practice?
during the day, I take every now and then, about 3 times a day at least, I take some time out. And I just go and sit on my bed with a pillow behind me, and I just sit and just relax for a few minutes. I've learned to do that because I'm always so busy that I find that at the end of the day, it's just a blur. And so to stop and become intentional, what am I going to do now? Tune in. Is this the right thing? That really helps me a lot.
That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I have a bonus question. I did not send this to you ahead of time. I'm just trying something different and new with the questions for my guests. Dina, if you could take one feeling or one belief and bottle it up and give it to people, what would it be?
It would be the feeling of being loved. It would be that connection to your heart where it's just the most amazing feeling. If I'm there, I don't want to leave. I just want to stay there.
What is one thing you know now that you wish you had known when you started your entrepreneurial journey?
Patience. Patience and faith. It would have made such a difference. I would have done things so much differently.
What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? What was your life like before you learned it? And what was your life like after you learned it?
I think it's the piece about control. Before I let go of that, and that really took a while, it was exhausting to control everything. And I had this thing that I had to make sure everyone else was happy before I deserved to be happy, before I deserved to actually have fun and go out and do something. And my husband taught me this. Let go. It doesn't matter if they come or if they don't come or what time. It doesn't matter. And so I started to slowly but surely let go of that. And, as a mother as well, it's not asking someone to do something, and it's not to let them just go and do it. No, it's how they must do it to my specifications. And now I'm just so much more relaxed and realize that it doesn't matter how someone does it, even in work, even in your teams, even we just rob people of their creativity when we want to control everything. And what is the worst that can happen anyway?
Very true. It's an important lesson. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Ooh, I have so many questions, Brad. Probably, what is my book about? What is my 4th book about?
Okay, there you go. Tell us what your 4th book is about.
My 4th book, the title is I'm So Glad You Left Me. Okay. And it's 111 stories of courage, self-love, and personal growth. And this book is very interesting. It's a book with an attitude, but it's not about what you think. When I first thought of this book, I thought it was about the loss of a relationship because it was just after my husband passed away. And I believe that he left so that I can fulfill my soul contract. So I thought it was about that. I thought it was about the divorce, breakup, or death. And then it started to evolve. And then it opened up to say, no, perhaps it's also about the loss of a friendship or the loss of a family relationship. And then it became even further. So now the I'm so glad you left me is about a previous version of yourself.
Oh, that's powerful.
That left you. And the situation that was a catalyst of who you are now. So
the evolution.
The evolution. So that actually...
I love that, Dina.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get there, to get to that, because I was constantly thinking about this book. And then it dawned on me and I did a meditation and then the message came through. It's not about a person necessarily. It's about you. So
that's
I'm
beautiful.
Really
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so you should be. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
I think it would be Maya Angelou. She's such a powerhouse, and she's just the most amazing, wise. Everything I see about her is just so much wisdom and love. So yes, would have loved to have a conversation with her.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
See life as an adventure. Treasure life as an adventure. It's not here. It's a blip in who you are. Relax and just enjoy it. Together, of course, with the piece about the patience and the faith.
Yes. Lastly, Dina, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your people, your corner of the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
I would say you are here for a very specific reason. And the journey that you are on, you chose for this specific reason. So you are here to fulfill your soul contract. You're not an accident. All the desires that you have are divinely inspired. You will not think of anything that you want if it wasn't meant for you to bring into the world. You have greatness inside you. Have the courage. Have enough life. Have enough love for yourself to pursue that. And allow the universe to take you on this amazing journey beyond your wildest dreams. God has got your back.
Beautiful. Dina, thank you so much for being here today, for taking and making the time to be here with me today. This was such a beautiful, inspirational conversation. I appreciate you taking and making the time to be here and to share your story and your journey, your experiences, and the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. It's an absolute honor to call you a friend and to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Brad. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Beautiful. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Dina Marais. She is the founder and owner of Soul Purpose Publishing and Coaching. She's a 5-time international bestselling author, a soul-aligned manifesting coach, and a quantum human design coach and artist. Thank you so much, Dina. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at viseuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.